Okay, raise your hand if you're not calling in from Jeddah. اللي هنا ما حد يتكلم. Not in Jeddah. Hassan Kabli is not in Jeddah. So we have one person this month. Raise your hand if this is your first Creative Mornings. Oh, nice. 1, 2, 3. Okay. Like, because it's always so crowded, so I don't get to see the faces as close as I do now. Raise your hand if you start university or school next Sunday. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay. Some people are writing for the chat. 6, 7. Cool. 8. Nice. So people on Zoom can do it separately, or people live can do it separately. I'm trying to manage أول مرة. You can come up, say your name, your location, and something that brings you hope. If you're live, you can just do it here, and if you want to do it on Zoom, you can type it in the chat, and we're going to read it out loud, or you can tell us if you want to unmute. Who's brave enough? Your name, your location, and something that brings you hope. Go! Yay! Yeah. So my name is Ghazi, and I'm from Jeddah. One thing that brings me hope that I just wake up the next morning every day. So yay! And I usually make the most of that day. I have 5 minutes, but 1 minute راح. Let's see if someone on Zoom wants to do it. Selma قالت على.
Yeah.
Okay. So someone from Zoom has to do it. Someone has to say something. Yeah. Yeah. طيب. Go ahead. برضو في أحمد هنا.
With location as in like.
لا, you don't have to say it.
Okay. So name, something that brings me hope is the idea of growth and change.
Nice. We have Ahmed. Ahmed wants to say something. Ahmed wants to participate. Technology. طيب Ahmed, you can unmute yourself. Yeah, okay. I think Ahmed غير رأيه. Someone else wants to say something, or should we proceed? Okay. طيب, it usually works a lot better, but طيب. So welcome to Creative Mornings. الأول مرة في Creative Mornings. إحنا we're a monthly breakfast series. The main aim of Creative Mornings is the networking. So the main aim of Creative Mornings is mostly networking and creating a community for people to create and for them to have space to do whatever they want. Each month we have a theme designated from the headquarters. It goes in sequence to full chapter. Inshallah, this turn is going to be next year. Each country gets to appropriate the theme however they like. For example, our theme this month is stress. And each country is going to talk about stress from a different perspective and a different angle. It doesn't have to be like purely the word stress. Okay, so we have global sponsors from headquarters. The first global sponsor is MailChimp. MailChimp handles the emails and the written content and the marketing. They also have initiatives for Creative Mornings and for the creative community. You can find out more about this month's initiative on MailChimp's website. We also have WordPress. WordPress manages the website and also the detailed written content. They also offer a lot of perks for Creative Mornings community. This is one of it. They have workshops on content creativity that's offered free or discounted to the creative community. can find it on wordpress.com. They also have discounts for Creative Mornings with a code on our social media, which you can create your website or add if you want to elevate your business and take it and have special features. You can use WordPress for that. And our new sponsor is Basecamp. A lot of us who are working are using like the online working. It's like Slack and Asana and all of that. Basecamp is really efficient. I'm zero technology. I've been using it for the past couple of weeks. The team. There's like a chat feature and a place where you can like upload your work. It's a lot easier than all of the other co-working sites. They also have the mail service. It's called k.com. You can just email. Them or go to the website to find out more about the features of Basecamp. And today our sponsor is Basics. I was thinking this morning that since universities and schools are going to be like online, a lot of us hate class. We're done with staying home, so we're looking for a lot of like co-working spaces. I really like the sunlight of this place and the location. We have Basics team today telling us about
Okay, welcome everybody. I wish I could ask everybody to welcome. Can I say hello? Good morning, everybody.
Hi.
Good morning. Good morning. My name is Noah again. I'm one of the co-founders here at Basics. We're very delighted to have you guys here. And I'm really interested to see the new topic on stress. What we do here at Basics, we're a co-working space. We join you guys in the stress journey of your entrepreneurial journey, whether it be starting a business or even online, or even we work with a lot of university students to give some sort of a space for them to kind of get out of their home and try to work and get comfortable. We work with a lot of different entrepreneurs and startups and ideas. We have a podcast studio, workshop space, meeting rooms, and some community areas. So we're more than welcome to host you guys here. We have special offers for anybody coming from this group. So more than welcome and hope to see you soon. Any questions, I'll be around the space. Just a quick reminder, there's restrooms out to the right and on the left. We're going to be providing you guys with some lunch today with also one of our tenants who's also a partner and a sponsor, House of Buns or Pops if you know it. Check them out also on Dignity and other platforms coming soon. So thank you guys very much.
Thank you. And also, our second sponsor for today was Pops, as Mr. Noah mentioned, who had their logo on their Instagram on the previous slide. If you guys want to check it out, and on Zoom, if you want to take a screenshot. And our main partner for today is Niche Arabia. It's founded by Ms. Marriam Mossalli, who's our speaker for today. And CreativeMornings has 215 chapters in 67 countries with 20,000 attendees per month. It's always a lot more busy, and we're trying to make it happen with with everything going on. And all our talks are also online. There's also virtual field trips, a new initiative by CreativeMornings. Our photographer today. What? عشان social media ما بعرف hashtag. So CreativeMornings field trips are about anything you want. We have yoga workshops, baking workshops, regular talks about anything. It doesn't have to be titled, it doesn't have to have a theme. You can have your own field trips on CreativeMornings. It's an amazing platform because it enables you to have audience from all around the world. Because if you go to CreativeMornings/field trips, you're going to find field trips from everywhere and all CreativeMornings chapters. And you're also going to be promoted globally as well. You can email CreativeMornings and ask them to sponsor your to publish your field trip to have a larger audience. Right. This is our current CreativeMornings with the team. Everyone has their own role. Everyone has like a different thing in the world and a different thing in CreativeMornings. We're all exploring different options, and this is what CreativeMornings enables us to do. You can be a doctor and you can be a community manager, and it doesn't really matter. Also, Razan Al-Banawi and Ahmed are the people who have put CreativeMornings to the ground here in Jeddah, and these are our previous team members. And today we have a musician, Akhiran. We started having musicians during our online talks, yeah. And today we have Dina. Hello. Hi. How are
Thank you. Okay, so as she said, my name is Dina. I am a singer here in Jeddah. I've done a couple of different venues. I don't know if anyone saw me at Bobo Cafe, maybe? Yeah. Okay, that was, I think, the last time I performed. It's fun. But yeah, I'm gonna perform a song for you guys today. Do I just go ahead and start? Can they hear me?
Yeah, بس if you want to get closer, I can.
Should I?
We can help you.
Yeah.
Sarah, you could. Yeah.
Okay. It's good? All right. Send me your location, let's focus on communicating, cause I just need the time and place to come through. Send me your location, let's ride the vibrations. I don't need nothing else but you. I don't wonder why I'm fooling with you. This is new to me. This is new to you. Initially, I didn't want to fall for you. Got my attention, it was all for you. So no, you take advantage, only my heart damage. Understand that things go a little bit better when you play it. Send me your location, let's focus on communicating, cause I just need the time and place to come through. Send me your location, let's ride the vibration. I don't need nothing else but you. I don't wanna fall in love, I'm so sweet, so let's get personal. I got a lot of cool spots there we can go. Tell me what's the move that I got you. I'm only acting like this cause I like you. Just give me the vibe to slide in right, make your mind fast tonight. Send me your location, let's focus on communication, cause I just need the time and place to come through. Send me your location, let's ride the vibrations. I don't need nothing else but you. Ride, coming back with me tonight. I don't need nothing else but you. Ride, coming back with me tonight. I don't need nothing else but you. Nothing else but you. Thank you.
All right, thank you. You guys can follow Dina's Instagram. This is her Instagram account. Hopefully, we're talking to a bigger audience. All right, so our speaker for today is Marriam Mossalli. She's founder of the premier luxury consulting agency, Niche Arabia. And she also recently published the second edition of Under the Abaya. It's a photography book or a magazine that features to address the stereotype caused by women in Saudi Arabia. Mariam, the mic is
Hi, everyone.
Stop sharing.
Good morning. Hi. First of all, thank you so much for spending your Saturday morning. I'm sure there's other things you guys could have been doing, like sleeping in. So I really appreciate it. No, but thank you, Creative Mornings, for having me here. I'm really excited to be here. And before I start, I just want to say a special thank you to Ella from my team who created this presentation for us that you're about to see. That's actually the key to managing stress, is give all responsibility to someone else. End of conversation. No, I'm kidding. But thank you for that. I don't know if you guys can see the screen. Is that on? Because I can't see it.
No, not yet.
Oh,
Not,
okay, good. So I'm talking about something you guys can't even see, just seeing my face. Okay, good. So, I mean, going into this, I have to be honest, I was quite, let's say surprised that I was asked to speak on stress. Because when I think about stress, I definitely don't think of myself as someone that manages it well or at all. I think I just kind of get by on things. And, can you guys hear me? Hello?
Yeah, go ahead.
I'm sorry. Okay, sorry, because I heard something else. Okay. Wait, can I also choose, or Laf, you're the one moving the slides?
Yeah, just let me
Okay,
know.
I'm gonna do this. Okay. One of the things that I think, happens is that we tend to kind of see all of this messaging on social media, like these stress quotes on, how to manage it. And it's kind of, funny because you see that, and I don't know if it really kind of reaches to you. One of my favorites is this next one. Laf, if you could change the slides. This thing, like, you have as many hours in a day as Beyonce. Yes, but I also don't have her 3 assistants, her 5 nannies, her whole team behind her. And I think, a lot of times we end up seeing this highlight reel of people on social media. And so I think it's very important that, one of the things that we communicate when it comes to stress is that, not everyone has it together. We just try to manage it as much as possible. And I think, that's really pertinent today, especially in Saudi Arabia. Next slide. Where you see that more women are entering the workforce. And I mean, I wouldn't be Marriam Mossalli if I wasn't here to product place some female empowerment, some statistics. But the truth is that this conversation isn't just targeted toward women. I think a lot of times we forget that with gender equality, what we're seeing is that more women are leaving the household and entering the workforce. And what does that mean? That also means that a lot of the men have to come and enter that household domain. So, more active hands-on fathers, driving your mom to the grocery store, listening to your sister complain about her friends on Snapchat. I mean, whatever it is, I think, we all have various roles and responsibilities. It's not as just clear cut as, as a woman, I'm a mother, I'm a wife, I'm an entrepreneur, and, my husband is left doing nothing, mashallah, he's just enjoying life. No, I mean, he's also having to deal with stress. And I think, a lot of times these conversations are targeted towards females, especially now, with the self-care, emissions and stuff like that. So I really wanted to make sure that the boys in this room and in this Zoom call don't feel left out, because I think this is something that is relevant to both men and women. And for me, the thing that kind of helped me understand how to manage stress was first to manage expectations. So I put a slide here that, one example I have is that during COVID, I had these unrealistic goals. I wanted to make myself over like Khloe Kardashian. I wanted to learn Arabic. I wanted to learn to drive. I wanted to clean my house. I mean, I had all of these things, and this was just the first 2 weeks of lockdown. And so I think that, having realistic expectation also helps you reduce this, well, not reduce stress, but manage it before it even appears. And so I think, that's one of my key takeaways, is that managing what your expectations are, realizing that you are a person with only 24 hours a day without the assistance and the village that Beyonce has. The other thing that I've learned as well is, next one, is to also love what you do. This is me product placing my beautiful team from Riyadh. I don't know why Elaf didn't include the Jeddah team. Maybe she's mad at someone there, but my Riyadh team, niche and really having something that I look forward to. For me, going to work is enjoyable. It's not stress. I mean, yes, there are stressful moments. We do have issues, a client can arise, but at the end of the day, it's all in this context of doing something that I love and that I enjoy. And, you know, a lot of times I felt kind of judged for that. I felt that, you know, a lot of people say, oh, you know, you need to take a break, have some time away. And for me, like, no, that gives me more anxiety. You know, the next slide, like one of the things that I have to tell you is I did a lot of trial and error, and not making great decisions, such as this next slide, which you'll see, you know, where I did this picture. I thought it was great. I thought it was hilarious. And now I'm like, oh God, I need to archive this, but it's going to ruin my grid, and that's going to ruin other grids. So it's a whole process. Anyway, the point is that it took me a lot of trial and error to kind of understand what worked for me. You know, I tried meditation, and for me, meditation was like, I feel like this is a waste of time. And when I'm sitting there, I'm thinking about all the things that I have to do. It kind of actually created more anxiety for me. For some people, it works. You know, this idea again of self-care, spending that time, you know, to me, my self-care is, you know, spending time with my family, spending time, you know, creative writing or whatever it is. It's not so much in that context. The other thing as well is, you know, I had my team telling me you should have more apps, you know, maybe you need to be more organized. That just created even more anxiety, because I was like, now I have to learn a new process. I have to learn how to, you know, organize myself on this new app and format. But what really worked for me, on this next slide, is empathy. And for me, what I felt really kind of made me feel better, or more, I guess, you know, at ease, is the fact that other people are also dealing with the same stuff. And I think that's really important. And I want to emphasize this. I'm going to stay on this slide for a bit, because I think right now we live in a time where we are bombarded with these social media feeds, and we often forget that these are the highlight reels of these people's lives. I mean, right now I'm supposed to be on a cruise in the Red Sea, if you look at my Instagram, okay? Instead I'm here. And I think, you know, that's something that, you know, we forget to tell ourselves. You know, we forget that, you know, that what we're seeing isn't real life. And I think talking and having these conversations are important. And that's one of the reasons why I was, you know, okay, yes, I was shocked that you guys asked me about stress, but I was like, you know what? I love this idea, because I feel like maybe people think that I have it handled, and I don't. And I think, you know, having this talk and sharing that with you is important. I think that's key to, you know, this next generation to understand that, you know, we all are human, and we're all kind of trying to process these new obligations and responsibilities, especially, you know, at our age, well, your age, I'm a bit older, but, you know, where you're going into the workforce, you're getting married, you know, you're dealing with, you know, new responsibilities, both personal and professional. And it's okay to have off days. It's okay to have meltdowns, you know, like Kardashian does it, and look at her life, you know, gosh. So I think, you know, that's one of the things that really, for me, helped me kind of figure out what worked for me in terms of managing stress. And the main thing that I think also works is the next slide, is that I learned how to prioritize. You know, this is my life. What's important to me? You know, my family, niche, of course, is important to me. Female empowerment is something that's a passion of mine that I'm really into. And so really focusing on these things that make me happy, because at the end of the day, sure, my son can come and stress me out, climbing on me while I'm, you know, giving a talk or something. But then I just have to come back to earth and be like, alhamdulillah, I have my son. Alhamdulillah, I get to spend this time with him. You know, I think about, for example, like the nanny that takes care of him, how she sacrificed leaving her kids to come take care of my son, and how you know, I need to be grateful for that. And I need to be grateful that I have my son with me, you know, that I'm able to work and have him around me, you know, during this time. So that's kind of, you know, my mini little speech on stress management and how that works for me. And, you know, if you want to go to the next slide, I mean, I'd love to even kind of engage with you guys and think about, you know, what kind of, you know, approaches has worked for you? Because I think the more we discuss this, the more we think about various approaches, it might work for some people, but might not. You know, like I said, I mean, some people, meditation is the best thing in the world. They wake up in the morning. I mean, my friends talk about it all the time, you know, Marriam, you really need to meditate. For me, that's definitely not going to happen, because I sit there and I'm just like, you know, I create the lists of what I need to do. And I just feel like that's dead time for me. You know, it's kind of like those people that are crazy and go work out at 5 a.m. and, you know, that for them is their release. Great. Good for them. That's definitely not me either. So, yeah, I mean, I think I'll just end with that. If anyone has questions, I would love to have a discussion with you guys. And thanks again for listening to me this morning.
I'm just gonna check the questions in the Zoom again.
Sure.
All right. I don't think we have any questions on Zoom for now. Sarah?
Yeah.
Lana? Lana, do you want to say something or no?
Say something.
حسبت you want to. No pressure. No pressure. Okay, so I'm going to comment on one thing. Elaf is a regular. Elaf is a Creative Mornings regular since like ما أعرف they come. But okay, أنا باينة. Elaf, can you hear me?
Yeah. Hi, guys.
Hi. So Elaf is the one who actually kind of urged. Ya Allah. Elaf is the one who kind of urged us to go back online. So first, thank you, Elaf, for giving us the bravery and telling us that people want us to go live again. Although you're not here today, but yeah, you're doing a greater job. So thank you so much, Marriam, for the talk today. It was like very quick and it was amazing, like to the point.
Sorry if it's too quick, by the way, I talk fast.
No, like the content was very like close to the point. There wasn't like glorifying or anything. We actually had a mini panic yesterday because Sarah thought that Marriam is on a cruise. So I'm glad that you mentioned it today. Lorraine is saying something. I'm so happy that the chat is here. Cool. Stress keeps me going, but sometimes I feel that this is a very unhealthy relationship with stress.
Yes.
Also, this question as well, that sometimes stress can be like not a motivation, but it can push you to do something.
Yes,
But
no, I think. Oh, sorry. I was just going to say, I think, that's a very strong point. Yes, you cannot have stress be your fuel. I'm not saying that's your motivator. What I was saying in my talk is that for me, like downtime doesn't equate to relaxation time. My downtime is still being productive, but in a different facet. That's what I was talking about, like creative writing. It's something that's totally different apart from what I do. But you do need to have that time to put your thoughts down, to organize yourself. And it's various ways. Definitely do not, I have meltdowns. You can ask my team. I mean, I've had it before where, I've totally compounded everything and, just let it out on, one person on my team. And then, I have to stop and go back and, and apologize even, I think that's also another thing. You guys need to acknowledge, it's kind of crisis management 101. You have the ABCs, what is it? Acknowledge, bridge, and then conclude. And I think kind of the same thing with stress. I'm taking a PR approach here, communications, where it is where, you need to acknowledge that you are getting stressed out. Do take that time. Don't use that as fuel. You will burn out. I'm 35 now, and I've been, when I worked at Air Muse, I had those deadlines every single day, and that kept me going in my 20s. When I hit my 30s, all of a sudden it was just like a knob. It turned, and it was like, oh my God, that stress does not motivate me. I would just shut down. So I think that it's important to listen to your body and know when things are a bit too much to handle, and it's okay to take that break. And that's what I was just trying to say. We see these things online where it's like, oh, this girl's doing mashallah 10,000 things and she's doing this and she has her family. You see these especially these influencers. There's one that has like 12 kids and mashallah, she's there looking fashionable, hair done, makeup done. Guys, this is highlight reel. These are things that are edited to give that appearance. It's important to understand that you can take a break, and it's okay. I do that all the time. You guys will see on my social media, there'll be like a week where I don't post. Why? I don't, I feel like that's too much work. I don't want to do it. And that's okay. I forgive myself.
So I have a couple of comments. There's someone from California.
Hi.
Someone called you a Wonder Woman. You said everything important in such a short time.
Time. I told you I'm a busy woman. No kidding.
Work motivated life, it's harder to take a break for better words. I'm afraid of missing out. How do you balance between work and taking a healthy time out?
That's so funny. Shahad, Shahad, I love Shahad, and I know Shahad, and it's funny you say that. I don't know if I did not tell her to ask me this question because I actually had this written down. One of the things that I had that someone told me was learn to say no. It's still something my husband tells me, learn to say no, learn to say no. And for me, I had the anxiety that I was missing out. And I don't know if that's an entrepreneurial thing where, you try to throw as many things out and, and see what sticks and, hooks on. But for me, it created more anxiety. And I mean, again, this approach can be said on multiple levels. I just mean, let's say in the beginning, with let's say proposals and reaching out to clients. I want to try everything. I want to send proposals out to everyone and try to get it. But then there's, the later on when you have a client that's super demanding and overly demanding, goes out of scope of work, how to learn to say no. It wasn't so much about stress. For me, it was about knowing my value and knowing the value of my time. So for me, if my client wants me to over deliver, I need to make sure that I'm being valued for that time. And that was a good way for me to kind of, let's say filter through, because not everyone is willing to pay that overtime. Not everyone is willing to pay for that one-on-one, consultation. So it was good. I put a dollar amount next to it, and that's how I kind of filtered out this excess. So I think, it is important to, to know your limits as a person. But I think that kind of rule of learning to say no, it kind of can create anxiety, especially for people that are workaholics like myself, or, overachievers like other people, like Shahad.
So if anyone has a question from the audience? No? Guys, I never get nervous when speaking to people, because there's always so many heads and I don't know where to look. Today you're very few, so I'm getting stage fright for the first time in my life. So, okay, so we're gonna carry on with. Someone has a question? No. Okay. كل ما أسمع لنا, I think that she has a question. So we're gonna carry on with the last segment before we conclude. So that was. Yes, we have a question. Yes, my question. Yeah. You can speak to the camera if you want.
Where's the mic? Yeah.
Yeah.
Hi, Marriam. Can you hear me?
Hi. I can't.
Yeah. So I just wanted to know. Usually there are these theories which people use. If you've heard about the 80-20 rule, and then a lot of people go after the art of delegation, where they look at ways to automate their processes, whether it's a business or if it's any other project they're working on. So I just wanted to know if there's any particular theory or philosophy that you use while
Sure.
engaged in this multitask.
No, I mean, look, I think I said in the beginning, how I made Alaf do this presentation, I gave her the things, and it's also having people that you can trust around you. I mean, one of the things, my company now is 10 years old, Nish, alhamdulillah. And when I first started, that was kind of the biggest thing, was building the team. And how do I build, a team that I don't have to micromanage, that I can trust. And when you get that team, it's like a big, relief. I really can say that, with all confidence, that now the team that I have with Nish, alhamdulillah, is super strong. And that gives me the confidence to delegate. It wasn't easy. I know it's easier said than done. Oh yes, delegate to things. When you're a micromanager like I am, when you're a perfectionist like I am, I used to be like, I'll do it myself, guys. It's just more work if I try to, give you the instructions and then you do it wrong. And I fell into that trap constantly. And it wasn't until I really let go. And I think it goes back to my slide where I talk about prioritizing. One of the things that forced me to delegate and say, God be with you, do the job, is that I had a kid. And that to me was like, hey, that's more important. And spending, that 30 minutes doing that presentation, let's say myself, I need to trust that my team can do it. And I think, again, this is all trial and error. I think if anyone comes up and says, hey, I have the formula on how to manage stress, I would say, who's your sponsor? Who's paying you to say that? Because I don't think that there's, a clear-cut formula for everyone. I think, that's kind of the whole point of my talk, is that you need to see what works for you. If you're an intense micromanager, then you need to kind of see how to prioritize your time so that you're able to delegate that to other people.
Usually this is the case with entrepreneurs, just as you mentioned, learning the hard way, delegation process. I mean, one of the best entrepreneurs, former entrepreneurs out there, of course, everyone knows about Bill Gates. So he learned the art of delegation the hard way as well. I mean, he learned it after his company Microsoft went through the IPO, and so he learned it the hard. So it's good that you come across this idea at such an early age. So it's going to be helping you probably, but it's good to know about it. And what about the other theories? Any other philosophies, like the 80-20 rule that I recently came across?
I think that like I said, when it comes to these philosophies, it's, they're tried and tested. And I think, people tend to look at, we all want solutions. I mean, it's why we buy that skincare cream. It's why we download that self-help book. We're all looking for a clear cut. But what I think is, no one can replace experience. And I know that sounds, not the right answer that anyone wants. You guys are young entrepreneurs and you want the fix all thing. And I'll tell you, that doesn't exist. I mean, I remember when I first started Niche, one of my first employees in the industry, can tell you, is Ala Balki. She was my first employee. It was before she went to New York for her master's. So she's a young graduate. And I had her for my branding and stuff. And even then I remember, I didn't know how to manage. I didn't know how to be a boss. Am I her friend? And, it was kind of this learning curve that I had to go through. As much as I read books on how to be a good boss or a good employer, it doesn't replace real life experience. And I think that's something that, another message that I would love to give to the young entrepreneurs today is that you don't need to be in a rush. I mean, yes, I started my company really fast because I wanted to be first to market. I wanted to get that market share. So it was important, but be open to getting advice from other people, from having other mentors coming in and helping you, because you can at least learn from their experience. I mean, that's the only thing I would say. Talk to more people, network more, see and go to personalities that kind of remind you of yourself. I mean, if you're perfectionist, go to those people and say, hey, how did you guys, release your control and give it away? Because that, it's harder for us, versus someone that is like, oh, easy to delegate. So I think, again, it's really about experience. There's not one kind of formula, I think, that works.
Yeah, really appreciate your answer. Thanks so much.
Of course. Thank you for your question.
All right, so thank you so much, Marriam.
Of course, pleasure.
If you guys have any more questions, you can DM us or you can follow Marriam on all the social media handles we have tagged.
Yeah, can I just say something, Amadia? I just want to say I'm very open to DMs, guys. I think, one of the things that, please reach out. I'm super happy to give advice and talk to people. I think this is the way that we help each other. I mean, this is why, you have people, breaking the glass ceiling, so they say, to go back to the next generation and help them. Like I said, learn from our experience. It's not always great stories, but it might be worth it.
Yeah. Thank you.
Thanks.
So one of the things that we offer to the community is that we promote the startups, the businesses, or the ideas, or just the thoughts to our audience of 14K on Instagram and to our live audience. You can contact us before the event to schedule your pitch. Oh my God! To schedule your community pitch. Okay. So today we have Maktoub. Maktoub is a platform run by Reem, who is here with us today. She's gonna brief us about her platform today. And if you wanted to pitch something after, you can just go ahead. You don't have to schedule it. Thank you, guys. Thank you.
So you have to excuse me, I'm a little bit nervous. It's been a while since I talked to in front of an audience. So assalamu alaikum and good morning. My name is Reem and I'm the founder of Maktoub Poetry Club. So Maktoub is a student-run platform that aims to connect Arabs to the art of writing, and specifically poetry, in both languages, Arabic and English. So in Maktoub, we believe that poetry is the most universal way to relate to a person. So writing, simply. In Maktoub, we'd like to relate to you, publish your poems, your pieces, relate to your emotions, and connect you to the art, to our community. Let's connect and write as one.
Yay. Okay, so does anyone here have a pitch? No pressure. You can just go ahead.
Sorry, Maktoub is Instagram?
Yes, it's at maktoub.platform.
We're gonna tag the. Okay. Let's check this out. If anyone from the Zoom audience wants to pitch something, you can go ahead as well. Someone wants to pitch? Or are we good? Okay, I think we're good. If you want to properly schedule your pitch, you can contact us through Instagram or through email. The Creative Mornings email is @CreativeMornings. And I guess that's it for today. Thank you to our hosts for having a wonderful space. And yeah, That's it. So we finished at 12:20. You can use the remaining time to like exchange socials or just talk about what happened today. Okay. Thank you so much for coming. Thank you, Zoom audience. Just make sure that anyone has anything else to say.
Free pitching any investors.
So there's someone who asked if there are any investors. We don't have any investors that we can provide, but we just put you out on a platform of 14,000 people. Someone there might be an investor, you might get nothing. So, yeah, that's what you have to say about it. Okay. Are we sure, Mani?
Yeah.
No. Okay. No, we're finally done. We're done for reading.
Thank you guys. Thank you so much for having me. Thank you.
Thank you, Mariam.
Thanks.
Thank you, Idaf. Bye.
You. Bye, guys.
Bye.
Bye.